When did the high school legend become a legend? We had this kid named Derek, barely spoke, hoodie up every day, sat alone at lunch, never raised his hand. If you didn't share a class with him, you probably wouldn't even know he existed. But those of us who did, we knew. The guy was terrifyingly smart, especially at math. His homework got passed around like currency before tests. More than once, a teacher straight up used his assignment as the answer key. Still, he stayed invisible. No clubs, no sports, no yearbook photo. Just quiet, focused, and completely off the radar. Then came AP Calculus. Our teacher, Mr. Hoffman, was a legend of a different kind, the infamous kind. He had a habit of cold calling students mid-lecture and absolutely roasting anyone who didn't nail the answer on the spot. It wasn't playful teasing either. He once made a guy cry during a pop quiz review. Then came the Tuesday, cold gray morning. Hoffman was in rare form, chalk flying, questions firing like bullets, trying to weed out the unprepared. Then, mid-stride, he turned. "Derek," he said, tapping his chalk to the blackboard. "Let's see you solve this one." He wrote out the most intimidating Frankenstein of an equation I've ever seen. Long, dense, intentionally cruel. You could feel the room hold its breath. Derek stood up, calm, no panic, no fumbling, just walked up to the board and stared at the problem. Then, without saying a word, he erased it and wrote something new. Same topic, but simplified, streamlined, clean, like it had been debugged by a NASA engineer. Then he said quietly, "The original problem can't be solved. The equation doesn't make sense in this context." Mr. Hoffman froze. "You're asking for a real solution," Derek continued, "but the function only crosses the axis in imaginary space. It's undefined where you're asking us to evaluate it." It was like watching someone pull the curtain back on the wizard. Hoffman's face turned red. "Are you saying I made a mistake?" "Yes," Derek said, simply. What followed was 5 solid minutes of Derek calmly breaking it down, line by line. No ego, just facts. He walked the class through the math like he owned it. At one point, he even handed Hoffman the chalk and said, "You can try plotting it." Hoffman didn't. Instead, he shuffled to his desk, flipped through his notes, checked the textbook, and muttered, "Class dismissed." Then he left the room. Nobody clapped. Nobody laughed. We were too stunned. Derek just walked back to his seat, pulled up his hood, and started taking notes again like nothing happened. By lunch, the story had spread school-wide. Someone made a meme. Someone else made a fake rap battle flyer. Derek versus Hoffman. Final showdown. Even seniors started nodding at him in the hallway. A few days later, a junior asked him for help on their stats homework. Derek helped them, quietly circled a few things, handed the sheet back. No fanfare. Teachers started calling him Mr. Derek, half joking, half serious. And Mr. Hoffman? He stopped cold calling people in class. Still taught, but with a very different energy. He started double-checking problems before putting them on the board. About 2 weeks later, we had a sub. Hoffman was sick. No one believed it. During that class, Derek walked up to the board during a group problem, grabbed a marker, and wrote out a shortcut method. The sub just watched and stepped aside. And just like that, even the freshmen in pre-algebra knew his name. That's when Derek became a legend.